All right, everybody, welcome to the 1-year anniversary podcast of the Fresh Takes podcast with Russo and Felice. I am humbly Paul Russo today, and across from me, as always, is the one man himself, Nick Felice. Nick, how are you doing on this glorious evening?
Well, 1 year. It's amazing with our 14% Rotten Tomato grade. Tomorrow is technically the anniversary, but it is not a Wednesday podcast. It's a Tuesday, besides that one Monday we had several months ago. But today is the 46th episode of the Fresh Takes podcast. And for the 13th time, we have a special guest.
We do. It's our
13 times now.
Monthly guy that we always get on here. And of course, it's my brother Pat. Pat, welcome.
How's it going?
Seems fitting that we get you on here for the 1-year anniversary, since you're our.
He's aged so fast.
He's pretty much our version of Greg Cody. So
we're not going to talk about
congratulations
at all on this pod.
Too late. Just happened.
Thank you.
Who's Greg Cody?
He's an old senile man that we just love because he's Greg Cody.
We don't at all.
I like Greg Cody.
No one else does. You
never know.
Well, it's 1 year and we're still awkward. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff we were talking about a year ago, pretty much. Obviously, the Stanley Cup and NBA Finals we got going on. We got the U.S. Open happening this weekend. Some potential history in the making going on over there. History in New York. We got sports betting. We'll discuss that a little bit. And then we'll... last little part of it, instead of our final fresh take, we'll discuss our 1 year here, some of our favorite moments, some cool stats, and what we got going forward. I guess happening.
What to expect in year 2?
Yeah,
season 2.
So a lot of exciting stuff. Excuse me, going on. Allergies will kind of do that to you every now and then. So
let's get into it.
Yeah, let's dive in. Game 7 going on tomorrow for the Stanley Cup.
And you called it.
Lord Stanley up for grabs. I did say Game 7. This series has been... it's pretty much lived up to the bill, I feel like, for what we wanted for the Stanley Cup to kind of be. It's been a goalie battle. I think it's a bit more... I've said it now for the past, couple weeks here. I think it's a bit more physical than we anticipated it being, nonetheless, still. And then, you got a lot of interesting stuff going on kind of with both teams. Not to say we kind of didn't expect it, but you think of the St. Louis Blues, you think of Vladimir Tarasenko. Ryan O'Reilly's kind of been their X factor, at least from the forward position on offense. Look at the Bruins. A little bit of, you could say some usual suspects. Marchand's kind of played well, maybe not what we, expect, but you got guys like Backes, playing extremely well. Guys that, maybe guys you don't expect, I guess maybe this would be the headline for the Stanley Cup so far. A rookie goalie in Bennington for the Blues who's simply played tremendous hockey, and maybe the only guy in the series playing better than him is Tuukka Rask for the Bruins, the other goalie. So, I think you got a lot of interesting cases going on here for, whatever you want to call it, series MVP, outstanding player, to be a goalie. Either way, I think, if Boston wins, it goes to Tuukka Rask. I think if Blues wins, it probably goes to Bennington. It's been, like I said, it's been a really funky, hilarious, physical, mind-boggling series, really. You have, you have a warhorse like Zanera Charles out there literally playing with a broken jaw. He can't open his mouth, can't talk, can't do anything. He looks literally like a zombie out there pretty much because the way his beard is now, and especially after he got hit with the puck. He literally had just blood on his face and was like, damn, we have a White Walker on our hands. Or not a White Walker, but certainly a Walker on our hands. The series has been, like I said, it's been a fun series. Obviously, if you've been watching, you understand where I'm coming from on this. Like I said, sort of unusual suspects a little bit in the series, the ones you don't expect. Can also make the case that, hey, both these teams are not the teams we kind of expected being there in the final. Obviously you could see Boston making it more than St. Louis
now, Paul,
overall, but
you've said multiple times that you think the Bruins are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
I want to go back to you.
Okay.
And give me 3 reasons why the Blues could change your mind.
Well, 3 reasons why the Blues could change my mind, eh? Well, this is obviously a little bit of a tough one because I've kind of been dead set on Boston. Really,
you still think it's going to be Boston 7?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I said that kind of from the get-go.
It doesn't have to be 3 things. Just give me one thing, what the Blues can do.
I mean, obviously, I think, So, Boston's kind of deal all year, their defense has been kind of slow. It's an older, overall, it's a bit of an older defense, defensive lines that they have. Obviously, I mean, you look at it, it's a little bit different from me to you guys, I guess. But, for you guys, you think of Boston Bruins defensive players, you think Zdeno Chara. I think of Charlie McAvoy. You guys have probably never heard of Charlie McAvoy really until I just probably said his name, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Pat.
Pat's just sitting there pretty much in dumbfounded silence. So I think one main key is if you're able to jump on this defense early on, not to say you only need 1 or 2 goals. I don't think that will suffice. But you jump early on, you put the pucks on net. Obviously, 1 or 2 will find their way past Tuukka. That's just hockey. It doesn't matter how good of a goalie you are. If you put up, 40 shots within a 30-minute time frame in a hockey game, which, is halfway time-wise, 1 or 2 are bound to find their way through the net. So I think if your offensive game plan of, pretty much not charging in the sense of the penalty in hockey, but if you can charge that defense, I think you will get a couple goals. And with the way Bennington's been playing, that may be all you need. The second key thing, it is on the rookie goaltender. He's been playing great throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs overall. He's had a couple of hiccups here, obviously, in the final. You need him to play extremely well. I don't care what they say, Game 7 on the road, obviously, let alone for, like a veteran goalie, obviously, but a rookie goalie who has shown signs this playoff, especially in the final now, of having some lapses. You need to hope that he keeps the pace of what he's, put up from the overall standpoint of it, where it's not that one night out of, 8 where he's, giving up some, not terrible pucks on net, but, some, maybe somewhere in the line of give me an average goal.
Is this Tuukka Rask's first final? Has he ever won?
Tuukka has not won, to my knowledge. I think he was in one final before with the Bruins. I could be wrong.
So this is kind of new territory for him, too, even though he's the older player.
Yeah, and I think the other main thing for at least the Blues, and I said his name off the bat and talking, I think you need hope that Tarasenko kind of shows himself a little bit. Not to say he's been dormant in the finals, but he hasn't been your main guy. You get the outside world, especially looking into this, considers your best player. He needs to be on the spotlight. Give you an example of it. The Lightning in round 1, they got swept, and I think one of the main reasons why is because their main guys like Kucherov and Stamkos, the guys, who the world looks at and say, hey, those are the 1 or 2 guys, right? That's the best player on the ice. And they didn't show up. You need Tarasenko to show up. If that happens, I think the Blues have more than a reasonable shot at getting Game 7 on the road and hoisting their first Stanley Cup. I think those are 3 keys. So attack the defense. Rookie goalie plays extremely on his head and not getting into the pressure. Tarasenko shows up. I think those are the big three. Three main keys for
But
the Blues.
you think it's going to be the Bruins?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick to my guns on this one. I think the Bruins are
At home.
obviously at home, but at this point you kind of look at it, they might be a little bit of a team of destiny at this point. Just the way, not the way things per se have fallen into their lap throughout this playoff run. But, you end up not having to face Tampa Bay. You end up handling the Hurricanes pretty damn well.
They came back against the Blue Jackets. Right?
Yeah, you had a little bit of a hiccup with Columbus, but overall, you think about they dodged a major bullet in not having to face Tampa Bay, obviously, and you got by Carolina, obviously quick and easy. Very much so, I think, what we thought going into that round than what we initially thought, where Carolina would put up that fight, and they really didn't. So,
and they beat Toronto in 7?
Yeah, they did.
In the first round?
It's like I said, it might be a little bit of a team of destiny for Boston at this point, a little bit. So, hey, congrats to Boston fans. You made it, through this long drought without having a parade, and you just might be getting one again next week.
All right, when you told me the final 8 teams in hockey, I said it was going to be the Bruins, and I'm sticking with the Bruins.
Yep. You guys said 6, though, didn't you? 5 or 6 or something like that?
Yeah, definitely off on both my predictions from last week in the NBA as well. We'll get 2. But yeah, go Bruins. Not go Bruins, but that's my pick.
Yeah. Pat, you got anything
Boston
over there? Or
Penguins still in it?
No.
Clearly, I don't think
Then
so.
you know what? Throw the refs away, get everyone on the ice, and then just go at it. Have fun.
Bold strategy.
Get the refs out. Let them just free for all. That's all I got for hockey. I don't watch. I don't care.
A key thing too.
Plain and simple.
I didn't really.
But go Blues. No Boston sports are allowed to win titles, so go Blues.
I didn't really mention. I don't think it's at least on ice play wise key. I think a thing to watch, and Pat reminded me of it a little bit. The not to say the NHL has put a bulletin into the referees per se, but they have been a bit on edge with the way they've been calling certain penalties this series. Kind of like getting ahead of the curve a little bit. We all watch baseball. So the example I use to you guys is, remember when who were the Mets facing when they had the whole entire Bean Fest a couple years ago?
I don't know.
Was it the Dodgers or something? I can't remember. But when Noah Syndergaard, the first pitch of the game, threw behind the batter and they ejected him right away, not to that extreme, obviously, what the NHL referees have been doing, but it's kind of been preemptive in, hey, cut it out, don't do it, we're going to call it to a full extent type deal. I think that'll be a little bit of a key to Game 7 should stuff on ice play out that way. Obviously it's the last game of the year, but should something happen really early on in the game, the refs will do a preemptive strike, I think. Should it be a type of penalty that way, like a charge, something like that, so it should be, it will be a fun game. Game 7 in hockey is, if it's not number 1 most exciting sporting event, it's damn near close to it. So
I agree. It's exciting. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe Pat doesn't agree, but it's Game 7 and it's hockey.
There's a reason more people tune into a 13-0 soccer match today over Game 7 of the Stanley Cup tomorrow.
Don't think that's true.
I don't think that's
it
good.
might be.
You want to bet?
Whoa. Do we have a bet here?
Yeah, you want to bet? No?
I'm not going to bet.
Not very confident over
Yeah,
there.
he's pretty
Or we've
good.
been on this topic for 17 minutes. I just want to get it moving.
Actually, that's a lie. We've been on it for about 12, so.
Oh, this guy.
Wow, even better.
13th episode. He's just calling the shots now.
12 minutes of
Apparently,
hockey is 12 minutes
jeez.
too much.
I thought this was Paul Russo and Nick Felice, not Fresh Takes with Pat Russo and
I mean,
Pat
in
Russo.
his defense, it is Russo and Felice. He could get confused.
That's a fair point.
But we have a cake.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I went over because I thought you were going to kind of say something else to kind of wrap it up. But, yeah, we got some cookie cake to celebrate later on, so.
Yeah, 1 year. You can't see the candle. We don't got the budget for a bigger candle yet. But
No, they still can't see it.
No. Bring it over.
Actually, kind of could.
Yeah, do that.
Wait, hold on.
Nice.
Yeah, let me get it over.
Nicely done.
There we go.
There it is.
Nicely done.
The one is obviously for the 1 year, if you didn't know.
Shout out Walmart.
I mean, we got the colors, like the fresh take colors. I mean, I think that's red.
Fortunately, the TV wouldn't cooperate today, so
Smells good.
we got the awesome generic, I guess, Finger Lakes One logo up though, so that's pretty great.
Yep.
At the very least, but the color scheme
That's not
matches.
centered.
The color scheme matches. That's the good point about that.
All right, let's get to the next
Next
Let's
one.
get to the next topic without calling a timeout.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll call timeout. Nick Nurse should take notes.
Wow! Already,
Hold
Pat
on.
throwing that ish, bruh.
I actually said it.
I thought it was Pat. Nick throwing
Well, he
that
said without
ish,
calling
bruh.
Yeah, but he brought
I
up
just
Nick
said
Nurse.
Nick Nurse should take
So
notes.
much ish being thrown, bruh.
Tell us we're
Anyway,
wrong.
boy, this NBA Finals has been kind of weird. I think is a safe way to put it.
I think it's been exciting.
I don't think.
Everyone has different words.
I think looking back on it, I don't know if we'd exactly retool our predictions in any way, shape, or form. I don't think we anticipated Boogie coming back and having an impact the way he did initially off the bat in game, what was it?
Didn't he play
Game 3?
1 and flop on
Did
his
he?
face?
No,
You sure he didn't play it all game 1?
I don't think so.
Because I know game 2 he did very good, and then game 3 and 4 he fell on his
Game-
face.
Well, either way, my DraftKings has been fantastic.
Yeah, I think
in
game
the
by game
lineup,
one.
So,
I'm pretty sure he played a little in game 1.
irregardless, yeah, game 5 last night was really. The Raptors were up by what, 13 or 14 at one point in the. No, Golden State was up 13 or 14 at one
I was
point.
gonna say.
Well, look, calm down.
And that's also while Durant was still in.
He's tired.
Damn, man.
It's been a whole year on this show, you know? Give him a break.
A whole year no sleep.
Either
No
way,
days off.
Golden State's up by what? Like I said, 13 or 14 at one point in the fourth quarter. I think it was even kind of off the start. You were there. It was like at the end of the third. Don't give me that look over there, Pat.
I don't think they were.
Whatever. You know, we try out here, and yet you're just out here throwing shade.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we get this right.
Well, you look it up, and I'll talk.
13th episode, he thinks he's the man. They were up 6 with 3 minutes ago.
Obviously, now the headlines are going to dominate with this whole entire narrative of, okay, Durant's now officially probably out the rest of the series. Do you guys see that video up, by the way? The close-up?
That was
is gross. Why do people do that? Why
So that we
do-
can see what happens.
I don't.
all over-
I don't need to see
It's all
it.
over the internet, too.
I don't need to see it like on loop though. Like this, I saw it once. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
Obviously, the main headlines are going to be that. You have obviously the Toronto fans cheering the injury, which is ridiculous.
Just so you know, the Warriors were up 6 going into the fourth.
In Toronto Raptors fans' defense, they're not excited that the dude is hurt. They're excited that the dude is coming out of the game. Come on. Sure, there are the fans, there are those guys out there like, yeah, he got injured.
Like the guy that was waving.
I mean-
like he knew what happened.
When Durant is it's like getting fouled out. You get excited. Obviously, it's a little different than getting fouled out, but it's just you're excited that he's coming out of the game, so you got a better chance to win because he's the best player in the league. That's my defense towards Raptors fans. That.
I don't really defend the fact they were cheering for an injury. I agree they were cheering for him coming out. At that point, obviously they don't know the extent of the injury. That guy waving on the sideline or on the baseline at Durant, that dude is pathetic, and I would never let him step foot inside an NBA arena again. It is absolutely sickening to see any sort of human watch another human go down or wish for another human to go down in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. I don't like people rooting for injuries. I don't like people cheering when anyone goes down. I don't think that is fun at all, and that's absolutely classless to see from Toronto fans. I don't really put it past them because they've never been in this situation before. The only time Toronto has was like in 1993. So, I mean, I don't put it past them, especially seeing Drake's antics on the sidelines. I love the antics and all, but he did have to take it back a little bit. Half the stuff he does, any average fan probably gotten teed up for and thrown from the game. So he's lucky he's an ambassador for Toronto and the NBA. I'll say that as well. There's that. Nick Nurse cost him the game. Kyle Lowry cost him the game.
I was about to say,
whoever's decision that timeout was cost him the game. Whether it came from Nick Nurse, because Kyle Lowry has to be the one to call it. The players have to call it. But I understand, like, he looked at Nick Nurse, then he looked to Kawhi. So I don't know whose decision it was, but whoever had that ultimate decision to call him that timeout ruined the game for Toronto. You have momentum. You just took the lead. Kawhi Leonard is seemingly on fire when he's been cold all game. Your fans are going nuts. The arena is shaking. And now you're going to let Golden State rest, draw up plays, take the crowd out of it, and get Kawhi cold again. It cost them. That timeout cost them, for now, cost them the championship.
I like this angle. I think Golden State could still win this series. A lot of people are saying they need Durant to play to win this series.
If it goes 7, Toronto's in trouble.
They are, but they're also back at home. You know, they're due to win a home game. They've lost back-to-back home games for the first time this playoffs.
Also, something to note, the only Game 7 the Warriors have played in the NBA Finals, they lost. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't Kawhi won a Game 7 in the Finals?
I don't know. I can't remember. I thought that series went 6, but I can't remember.
All right, so either way, Kawhi's used to closing out. Obviously, Golden State is as well. Golden State isn't used to going deep into the finals and closing, though.
Wouldn't it be something? My brother pointed this out. Kawhi could end 2 dynasties.
He could.
He ended the Miami Heat dynasty, and he could end the Golden State Warriors dynasty.
You know what's crazy about this, though? He's needed role players every single game to step up. Do you think they can keep doing it? That's the question.
Yes. I mean, Kyle Lowry's not going to be shooting off the side of the backboard every single shot he takes.
That shot was deflected, though.
Yeah.
Draymond Green did his fingertips to it.
Are you a Cody Parkey fan, too? Or
Cody Parkey? I feel so bad.
Deflected? Deflected? Was it deflected?
I feel so bad for him, man. But yeah, no, Draymond did get his fingertips on it. There's pictures. You can clearly see the ball's like hitting his finger and bending it. So yeah, Draymond did get to that ball. Very good defense by Draymond. I don't know. I just can't see this series ending in 6. Or this is the official last game in Oracle's history.
Well, I mean, Paul's the Syracuse fan in here.
Oh God.
So what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, what are you doing to me right now?
What's going? Where's this going?
Obviously, you weren't around. But do you think there will be a John Thompson Sr.-esque comment by a Raptors player if they come out and win Game 6? Will they say Oracle Arena is officially closed?
I don't know if they actually have anyone on that team that would do that. I
don't know.
Certainly not Kawhi.
Kyle Lowry seems like a guy that could sneak something in there.
Actually,
there's something about Lowry that he seems like he'll take that quick jab.
Honestly,
I sucked my entire career, so let me throw a jab now that got carried.
Honestly, I think maybe like a Siakam might.
No, Siakam wouldn't.
Because you guys know what I'm talking about. John Thompson saying Manly Fieldhouse is officially closed.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention.
John Thompson, everyone's favorite Italian coach in the Big East.
Yep. That comment actually made my dad a Syracuse fan. Fun fact.
Hey.
Sorry to steal your mojo, but
no, you're good. I mean,
But I don't know. I think the Raptors could win Game 6. Why not? You know, they've already won 2 games in Oracle this finals.
Big facts.
With the same team. I know Klay Thompson is a little more healthier these games, especially that he didn't even play in one of those games. So he's definitely a big addition to the team because that team won basically 73 games. That team. But I don't know.
And Zaza Pachulia.
Zaza
Zaza was on that 70.
Zaza Pachulia, yeah. I think the Raptors could win Game 6. I would not be surprised. But if they don't win Game 6, like you said, I'd be nervous. But they are home. I have confidence that they can win one of these next 2 games. I mean, you just got to look at it. You got to win one of these next 2 games. You're the NBA champion.
Right.
I just can't put in my head that the Toronto Raptors NBA championship. But
The only thing for me is emotions are running high in Golden State. And it's not just because, Durant's down, Durant's out. He can't come back. There's no way. Unless they find a way to chop his leg off and give him a bionic leg in the matter of 48 hours, he ain't playing.
no.
They're not nervous.
Durant is not playing.
Like I just said, unless they chop his leg off and give him a bionic leg, just give him a brand new leg made out of metal.
Yeah.
That's the only chance. But
If he does that, then he's really dedicated, and I'd be nervous about him going to the Knicks if he's that dedicated to win a championship with the Warriors.
all right. But my thing with it is
Also,
Oracle's got history. Curry and Thompson, Draymond, they're not going to let that stadium go out. Not just on a loss in the finals, but a championship clinching loss. At the end of the day, I think the emotions are going to be running too high for Golden State. They know what's on the line. I don't know if Toronto fully grasps this situation yet. So I think something's going to happen, as it has pretty much in every game so far in the third quarter. And Golden State's just going to flip a switch, and they're going to go. They're going to go. They're going to make it 3-3. Game 7 will be interesting, to say the least.
Yes.
I really see this going 7. I didn't see it going 7 to begin with. I figured Durant would come back in a 2-2 series, fully healthy, and just take the next 2. Clearly wrong about that. But I don't know. Game 7, it's going to be Curry versus Kawhi. We're going to see both of them go for 40+. It's going to be Game 7.
I disagree.
I know you're talking about hockey being fun. This game, if this goes to a Game 7, which I'm planning on it, this could be one of the best just basketball games, period, we've ever seen.
Wow.
You're going to see it's going to be 2 guys battling it out for the NBA Finals MVP. They're both going to go for 40. They're both going to shoot the ball 30, 40+ times. It's going to be a hell of a game.
If Durant would have stayed healthy and he had won the NBA championship, he would have been a runaway MVP. But.
Oh, yeah, it's not even a question. He could have played like crap, and they would have sat there and been like, but you came back, so that helped him win it, so MVP.
Yep.
But it's going to go 7.
But what do you think? You think it's ending tomorrow or Thursday?
I mean, I've kind of said this all along. I think Toronto puts up more of a fight than you guys initially gave them credit for. I think we can see that.
Yeah, I said it was over.
Look, I'm probably go. So I will probably have to eat my own words here a little bit. I think they end it Thursday. I mean, they're going to be minus Durant. You've played your better games, obviously, without Durant on the floor. They've played. Nick, what are you doing with your mic? I picked that up on the audio over here.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just touching it.
I think once even Durant not being at 100% on the floor yesterday, you saw how much of a difference that made in the game, not only for Golden State, but for how Toronto had to play, both offensively and defensively. I just like Toronto's opportunities better with Durant out for sure. I'm going to pick Toronto to win Thursday, to win the series, but I will preface it like I've said the whole entire time. I will not believe it until I see a team that's not Golden State holding the trophy in the end.
There's one key factor that in Game 5 it started to pick up that it hasn't done it all this series, and it's actually one of the keys that I think Chauncey Billups said had to happen. Draymond Green is no longer as hesitant as he was in the first 4 games to shoot the ball. If that man hits 1-3 in the first quarter without hesitating to shoot, Toronto's in trouble. Because if that man gets confidence to do whatever he wants on the floor, he can do whatever he wants on the floor. Draymond Green is an X factor for this team. And he might be putting up only, 10, 10, and 8. What people don't realize is that 10, 10, and 8 has carried them.
He does all the non-statistics stuff.
He does. He hustles. He's always at the rim, boxing out, rebounding. He's always on the floor. He's always going after that loose ball. He's always looking for that extra pass. Draymond Green is the key to push this to 7. And like I said, if he gets confidence, what they need to do is duct tape his mouth so he can't get teed up. Because if he gets teed up in Game 6, he cannot play Game 7. He's one technical away from being suspended for Game 7. So they need to duct tape his mouth so he can't yell at the refs.
Who do you like in 7? You said it's going 7.
Oh, God. It's just, it's like Paul said, it's like we've talked about before. I can't believe it's not the Warriors until someone else holds up the trophy. I'm going with my original pick, the Warriors, this time in 7. There's just something about, if it goes to 7, that Warriors team without Durant is still going to have so much swagger walking into Toronto. All the pressure will be on Toronto. Because the thought and the only headline going into that Game 7 is going to be, will this be the second time a 3-1 series gets blown in the finals? And it's going to be the second time in 4 years. That's going to be the only headline. That's going to be the only thing anyone's worried about. So you're going to see in Game 7, Lowry try to make superhero plays that he can't make. Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam, Serge Ibaka, Danny Green.
Serge Ibaka.
They're going to try to make superhero plays that they cannot make. And they're going to dig themselves into a hole. I really think if this goes 7, Golden State's going to take it. Kawhi's going to score 40 in a losing effort. And I think it's going to suck to see that happen to a guy like Kawhi. Because he's so likable, because he doesn't showboat. He doesn't go to the media, just shooting off on anyone and anything that he gets asked about.
So there's only 3 options left. It's either Toronto wins in 6, Toronto wins in 7, or Golden State wins in 7.
I want to know what you think, Nick. Because I told you Warriors
Paul,
in 7,
Paul
he said
says,
Toronto in 6.
I'm going to go with the weird one that no one's even thinking.
Say Raptors in 7.
Raptors in 7.
Wow.
I think the Warriors are going to have a lot of momentum.
To be fair, though, that's also Raptors in 6. You get it?
No.
I'm going to show myself out.
Okay, good.
Yes. 1 year is enough.
Well, one of us is going to be right.
Raptors in 7. I think they're going to give a lot of momentum, Warriors. But for some reason, I don't think they're going to pull it out in Game 7. I feel like the headline's going to be Warriors, we're going in with lots of confidence, but mistakes, turnovers, cost them Game 7, and Kawhi wins it. MVP in 7. So,
well, at this point, MVP, it's pretty obvious. Toronto wins it, Kawhi.
Golden
State
said,
wins, it'll be Curry.
One of us will be right.
Mm-hmm.
It will be official on the next pod.
There will be.
Big facts. So, I think that probably wraps up NBA for now.
Well, next week could be the end of... no, there's a lot of NBA still. There's the free agency. There's the draft. It just never goes away.
No.
The NBA is always here.
And the league sucks.
Don't worry. You guys are getting somewhere.
Well, luckily for you, Nick, we move on to a topic I know you're very eager to discuss. The U.S. Open. They return to Pebble Beach. In my mind, a course that you don't need to explain. It's one of the courses everybody knows. This is going to be, I think, a really fun and exciting U.S. Open.
It's a Tiger Woods PGA Tour game favorite.
It is. I mean, it's honestly, like, I remember playing Tiger Woods like 05 and 08 when it was on it, and it was literally the course I would always go to play. Like, it's such a fun. Obviously, it's fun to play in video games, and I can only imagine if you're actually like really good at golf, how fun it is to play at Pebble Beach. Like, so I'm excited for it. I can honestly say I don't think I've been as excited for a golf tournament in some time, if I'm being honest. There's just something about the allure, I think, of Pebble Beach that I think specifically to our generation connects with. I think it's that Tiger Woods connection to it, obviously. But I think for you across from me, Nick, you got a very nice connection here possibly. We could witness history. Mm-hmm. This weekend. Now, obviously, golf's a little bit different. You got to for sure obviously get through the first 2 days to make that history. But Brooks, man, Can he get the 3 in a row, you think?
I've been following Brooks for a while now, and he keeps winning and winning and winning. You think one of these majors, he's going to struggle, and he has not struggled here in 2019. And he's looking for his 3rd straight U.S. Open. He's already won the last 2 U.S. Opens and the last 2 PGAs. He's got 4 majors. But can he make it 3 in a row? There's other names out there. There's Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson, one of his favorite courses is Pebble Beach. And he won in Pebble Beach earlier this year. But they make Pebble Beach a lot harder in the U.S. Open. And he's never won a U.S. Open. And if he wins the U.S. Open, he wins the career Grand Slam. And that's something to watch out for. Jason Day, I just heard, has Tiger Woods' old caddy, Stevie Williams.
Yep, Steve Williams is caddying for Jason Day this weekend.
And Jason Day is saying Stevie can take him to the next level at being a U.S. Open champion. I don't know. I think he's one of those guys that has one major that needs to win another major to really make them more of an elite golfer. Him, Rose, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, those type of guys that have one major. They need to win that second. You got to get that second major. Then there's the guys that have no majors and got to get that first one, still like Ricky. But I'd still watch out for Ricky, One of these times it's going to be his day.
I'll say we've been saying it now for how many years?
Nicest guy in sports.
I feel like Ricky just can't put a full tournament
together.
No,
he always has that one bad round that hurts him.
Mm-hmm. And it's either early or late. It's never one in the middle, too.
No.
He either has that roaring start and falls off, or he just starts slow and then boom.
But Rory McIlroy, who just won, he's a name to watch out for. He's looking for his 2nd U.S. Open and his 5th major. Tiger Woods looking for his 16th major. That would put him 2 behind Jack. Do we like Tiger this weekend?
No.
I mean, I think this course kind of obviously plays to him. I mean, this is from, I think, the major standpoint, this is probably his most successful course.
Other than Augusta, obviously,
yeah.
but
I mean, from a rotational aspect, this is probably his, most successful course.
He really hasn't been playing that well, other than the Augusta win. He hasn't really been playing phenomenal.
It should be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how he kind of holds up health-wise through it. Obviously, that was the main concern during the PGA. We all thought he would roll through there without playing, and obviously he didn't do well, didn't make the cut. So, should be interesting there. Nick, you kind of mentioned something I wanted to talk about anyway. Really lately in the majors, we've kind of had a couple names always, it tends to happen once every now and then where you get 1 or 2 names that kind of rise, but the past 3 or 4 majors, you get these guys now rising to the top who kind of, these dark horses, if you will, obviously. I was going to ask, obviously he's getting a rejuvenation with Stevie Williams. I don't know if you really want to count Jason Day as that dark horse, at least per se, but, dark horse.
Minor dark horse, yeah.
Dark horse wise, who can we look at this weekend? Pebble Beach. It's a course that obviously offers, areas where you can blast the ball, but areas where, you do have to be smart with, how much power you can actually put on it. So.
He's not really a dark horse, but he's not one of the favorites. Mm-hmm. But he's been playing well. Alexander Schauffele.
Yeah.
He's another guy, like Ricky. I think it's going to be his time. He's very young still. He's like Finau. One of these guys. I think it's going to be a first-time major. We've had Koepka. We've had Woods. I think we're going to see a first-time major here at the U.S. Open. Nice. It's going to play tough. I'd love to see it, around even par, the winner. I love to see it tough. So that way there's always room for mistakes and it makes it more exciting, I think. Do I think he wins Schauffele? I don't know. It all depends who plays well. That's the thing with golf. You just don't know until the weekend who's going to be around. But I would like to see him. I'd like to see Koepka. I'd like to see Koepka keep going, Heck, he could keep winning. If he gets 5 majors, that would tie him with Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson's looked at as an elite golfer. That would be already he'd tie him. And I will say one thing about the U.S. Open. Fox does an unbelievable job covering it. They've done it the last 3 or 4 years now. They cover it from I think 8 in the morning till 8 at night, whenever the show's done, all 4 days. And I just love that. You'll never miss a single shot with Fox covering the U.S. Open. And it's always nice to see Joe Buck on your TV screen again.
Why do you like Joe Buck?
He's one of our great voices.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, not a fan.
But. It's a question for you. Is my buddy Harold Varner III in the U.S. Open?
Well, allow me to take a look for you, Pat, and it looks like he is not.
Oh.
See, I never even heard of him until last tournament.
The only reason I know about him is because when he golfs in all Jordan.
Really?
Jordan golf shoes.
That's because Pat,
Jordan pants.
Do you know where
Jordan polos and Jordan hats.
Do you know where he's from?
Is he from Chicago?
Nope, he is from Michael Jordan's birthplace growing up, Gastonia, North Carolina.
Birthplace growing up?
Well, hometown, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Okay. But are you sure that's why he is signed with Jordan?
Part of the reason.
Okay. I just think it's pretty cool. Sorry.
Yeah, but he's from Gastonia.
All right.
But to wrap up my pick,
let's hear it. He's going Koepka.
I would love to go Koepka, but I'm going to go with his buddy. I think Dustin gets it done.
You're not going Koepka. Wow.
Dustin wins his second U.S. Open. Lock it in.
Huh?
We'll do the pick and the one dark horse pick.
Okay.
I'll go with Xander Schauffele.
Okay.
Dustin Schauffele. I feel like I'm my brother right now, but that's my picks.
Do I got to pick, guys?
Yes.
Yeah,
Dark horse, Harold Varner III, even though he's not even in it.
Okay.
No. I don't know as much about golf as Nick does over here.
Just pick 2 names.
I'll just go Jason Day, I guess. We're not going to consider him a dark horse. Let's throw him up there. My dark horse, I just love seeing his name pop up on the screen for some reason. Give me Hideki Matsuyama.
Okay.
Wow.
Give me Matsuyama.
That's not a bad.
I feel like he hasn't been doing bad recently because I always see his name at the top of the leaderboard.
He did all right in the PGA.
Yeah, so give me Hideki Matsuyama to get it done. Konnichiwa, throw it to ball.
So that's the pick is Matsuyama.
No. My dark horse is Matsuyama.
Okay.
I feel like not many people are picking him.
So my pick is
he's another one.
I'm gonna go with the guy who played extremely well last weekend at the Canadian Open. I'm gonna go with Rory McIlroy
as your pick.
He is my pick.
Okay.
We'll ride the hot hand on that one.
Paul, apparently, is your mic still
Yeah, the
on?
mic's back on. I had that little bit of a cough there, and I forgot to turn it
Okay.
back on, and we're back now. I don't know if he's a dark horse, but you want to know what? I have a feeling we might see Bubba Watson turn up this weekend. So
that's a nice pick.
I'm going to say keep your eye on Bubba, but I'm going to say Rory will get it done.
Wow, no one picked Koepka.
Guess we're not feeling historic this weekend with our picks.
You know, you got to think he's going to play bad in one of these majors, but if he keeps going, man, he might be one of the best golfers of all time.
So,
he's going to catch Jack.
Speaking of all time.
Got to catch Tiger first.
Speaking of all time here, guys. We have now entered a new day of gambling here in New York State, officially. It was a unanimous vote yesterday, but New York State officially will have sports betting at casinos. I believe I saw the date was June 26th for when it will officially be signed.
What else happened June 26th?
What else?
Some fat guy's birthday.
Who?
Jeter?
Yeah, Jeter.
I mean, he has gotten pretty big in retirement, so.
Everyone does.
Jason Bay? No, he's not the 26th.
Actually, Jason Kendall's birthday is the 26th, too.
I got Jason Bay, Nick.
All right, back to your point.
But so later on this summer, once the casinos get officially everything, converted over and built or whatever they're exactly doing, we'll be able to bet some games. What are they called? Crap. I forgot the word in my head. No, not parlays. Like the stuff like within the game even.
Prop bets?
Yes, thank you. Look, I had a bit of a brain.
Stuff within the game.
I had a brain fart. So it's going to be really cool. Obviously, so here are the sports for sure that are in it. football, baseball, basketball, hockey, auto racing, soccer, and then also it lists other major sports. So I'm guessing that's golf, tennis, all that sort of deal. UFC. The only thing that we will not be able to bet on is we will not be able to place wagers on college teams from New York in any college game that takes place within New York.
Really?
So unfortunately, nobody can bet on Cuse beating Clemson this year in football.
Why? Why is that?
Technically, you can't even bet on Syracuse, period, for football. So,
why is that a thing?
My understanding is that they want to avoid, as best as they can, collusion, throwing of games, that type of deal.
So we can't bet like St. John's either?
No St. John's, no Siena.
No University of Rochester, no Buffalo.
No Canisius, no Bonaventure.
No SUNY Oswego.
No SMS Bocce tournament?
No FLCC.
Nope, that's not collegiate, so you can.
Yeah, you can. It's pro. But either way, this is some really cool stuff. My bet is, they already started stuff out at Del Lago even before this, pretty much by a month. By converting the old Vine over.
Yeah, Nick's got the picture.
Nick's got a picture of the
imagine if it got voted down, how much trouble they would have been in.
I would cry.
Well, no, I'm just saying, they're doing all these renovations. guys, you got to halt it. But this is going to save that casino.
Well, that's what it's supposed to look like.
This sports betting is going to save them.
So, obviously, I think we're all excited for it, obviously.
That was the Del Lago one, by the way.
Each one will have their different. Del Lago's partnering up with DraftKings, which many people already have anyway for daily fantasy sports. I know I do daily fantasy sports fairly regularly now.
I saw what Turning Stone's going to look like. I know it's a little different with the Indians.
But I think Turning Stone partnered with Caesars for theirs. So,
and I think Tioga partnered with FanDuel.
Yeah, a lot of people. They're all partnered up with different people. I know MGM. I can't remember off the top of my head who MGM partnered with.
Probably one of the other two.
Yeah.
But I saw Turning Stones, like what that is, like the little 3D preview. Yeah. Turning Stones looks nice.
Yeah.
It looks
to make a trip up there sometime.
Yes.
Yeah, here's a quick look at Turning Stones, at least the quick rendition of it anyway.
It's cool.
It's not exactly the biggest and most, I guess.
Is there another picture?
No, this is the only one they have out, I guess. But this is what they got looking like at Turning Stones.
That looks a lot more welcoming than the one at Del Lago.
I mean,
Del Lago's going to be tiny.
I think Del Lago's aiming more for a literally sit down and watch type.
Well, right, but that one literally looks like you're walking in. It looks like a cozy place that when you go lose $100 a day, you're not maxing.
It also looks like a restaurant too.
That too.
I think they're planning on doing food at DraftKings too. It's going to be like a sport.
Well, they got to replace the Vine somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I know. For me, I went to Dover, Delaware a couple of years ago for the NASCAR races. You've been to Vegas, Nick. You've sat in the sport books out there before.
They were nice.
It's
made me a fan.
It's honestly a cool experience. I'm pretty excited for this. Obviously,
it looks like there's little machines too.
Yeah, you're going to be able. They're going to have people obviously doing, or whatever you want to call it, man watch stations that you can go up to and do it. You're going to have the automated stations. I don't think they specify how they're going to pay out, station wise. I think you actually have to go up to a person to get paid out.
Probably,
to the best of my knowledge, but
it looks like you can make a bet though on the machines.
Right? You can make the bet on the machine like that. Obviously, I think the next push for New York State, a lot of people are wondering about mobile betting. That's a bit of, I think, of a two-edged sword a little bit, obviously, but that's a different discussion, I think. But yeah, this is a pretty cool thing that's going to be happening. Going to have a major effect, obviously, on the way we view sport, I think, obviously. I know during football season, the way we get with fantasy anyway, now this will go add a completely new element to that. Plus, other stuff too. It's not just football. You got baseball. You got obviously basketball, specifically March Madness. I look at it and I think it's cool for NASCAR because you can do a parlay in NASCAR and literally just pick 4 drivers. They have head-to-head driver matchups you could do, and all you have to do is pick the guy you think will finish ahead of the other guy, and that's how you win your money. So,
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool.
I want an official date is what I want.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the official date.
No one does.
Like I said, from what I understand, the piece of paper to go through registration to officially sign off on it, Wednesday the 26th is, I think, what I saw.
When is the phone? They say something next Wednesday?
That's signing. That will be the next session, which is technically, I think, like the day after when they'll discuss that. That one, I think, is going to struggle a little bit to get through. I know a lot of people have some concerns about, obviously. I think more from a logistical side of it. You don't have the control of making sure anyone's over the age of 18/21, depending upon what casino you're at. Plus, I don't think Pennsylvania has the mobile betting either. I know they're approved for sports betting to get going here soon as well. So I think from a logistical side, it's going to struggle to get through. But obviously, big step forward here. Awesome step forward, in my opinion.
Well, they need to get rid of those Vine TVs. God, people were hurting their neck looking at that TV.
Those were rough.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
But
anyway, this is cool, you know.
It's a step forward. You know, they need a sports book, they need a golf course, and they need a nightclub. They're getting there.
And with them on the nightclub, on the golf course, they need to find a different area for that one.
They're getting there.
I think you can make a golf course work out there pretty well. You got the rolling hills, so I think.
And they need a pool party.
What
else
do you want at Del Lago? What else?
I want the racetrack.
Yes, they need a racetrack.
God.
We're getting there.
All right. Well, we'll jump into what we'll call the 1 year anniversary here over on Fairleigh Lanes
1 year.
It's been a really awesome year. Been a really cool year that we've had different opportunities pop up for us and different stuff that has happened. And I can't thank everyone here at Fairleigh Lanes enough. Jim Stankrope, who gave us the opportunity to, and all the help we've gotten along the way. This has been a fun year. Had some challenges along the way for sure. Handling stuff over here. It's not as difficult as I thought it would be, but it's certainly a challenge. You got different stuff you have to pay attention to. Like I left the mic on mute for about a minute after I had a cough, and the simple stuff like that we're still getting figure it out even a year long. But it's been a lot of fun, a lot of cool moments. Looking back on it, all the football talk we did, I think was really fun because we always had a really good, no matter who was here, whether it was just me and Nick, or we had Pat here or Matt here. It was always great. And, the people who've come on and joined us on the show throughout, our first year, Pat, Matt, Josh Langley, Jeremy Frenberg, Jim Spina. We got other people, obviously, we want to get on here that will happen in the near future, hopefully. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of cool moments. This is something I don't think either one of us really imagined us getting the opportunity to do when we first kind of cracked the idea of doing a podcast or something along this line, and now we're here, and it's been a pretty awesome first year over here at Finals.
Yes, it has. It's been. Thank you to everyone that's allowed us to do this. But can we just agree that Pete Davidson Ariana Grande topic was our worst idea ever?
I think either that or where we first debuted the rap beef of the week thing that only lasted one week.
No.
Yes.
No, Ariana
which oddly happened a year ago.
Yeah, that was the worst. Pat's, he's a veteran out here. This is his 13th time. No one's ever.
Nick, you got some cool stats. Do you mind sharing a few?
This is our 46th episode. Paul has been on all 46 episodes. He is the only guy to be here every single time.
100%.
I was there 45 times. That's like 90-something%. Pat 13 times. We had Jim on for one episode. We had Josh on for one episode.
98%.
Jeremy on for one episode. And Matt was even on for 6 episodes.
Yep.
Last week I didn't even realize that was my 50th ever shout out.
Wow.
I've had multiple doubles. That's the reason why I'm up. But 50 shout-outs, the person I've shout out the most is this guy over here, Ford Tyne for some reason. I don't know why.
But
And this guy is looking to add his 9th career fun fact to the game.
that is going to happen.
Let's keep it going. Let's get more people on. Let's get the name out. Get the fans up. Pat?
Me?
What do you think about being a guest? You're the number one guest
you're
on the
our
show.
main guest co-host.
Thank you guys for allowing me to come on once a month. It is very fun. I always look forward to it on Tuesdays when I do get to come on. Yeah. That's just what I got.
I was expecting more.
Yeah.
You want more? Okay. If you really want more, I don't know. I don't know what to tell
Oh
you
my God, he's
more.
starting to tear up.
No, I'm not. But it is fun. I know at times our talks can get kind of serious, but it's all for love of sports.
I'll say it's serious. We try to have.
I mean,
obviously, sport is something that brings us all together here.
yeah, we're surrounded by sports every day.
Yeah, I mean,
More
I
than
work
me, but
maybe not work within sport, but recreation is sport. Pat obviously works at Nike,
I'm surrounded by sports
biggest-
every day of my life.
perhaps the biggest name in sport.
It is.
Nick, as many of you know, as we discussed, especially during football season, this guy runs about as good of a fantasy league overall as you'll
best.
find.
No, it is the best. He has stats dating back to our very first year of ever having our fantasy league.
Guys, you're going to make me cry.
To the point where people have walked up to him asking how they can get into the league.
Well, yeah, I mean,
tight.
So,
You need to get an interview.
yeah, it is the work that Nick does.
on that
Not just the fantasy football league, because he does it with all of the fantasy leagues
Yeah.
that they're a part of. It is
just, it's
phenomenal.
not as in depth as football. but-
I'll be honest. I feel like a few guys, couple guys in our league really don't take it that seriously. But
Whoa.
seeing the articles and stats and everything that you put out every single week during just the fantasy football season alone, that has to take 2 or 3 hours out of a day to do. So I mean,
it does.
that takes a lot of hard work and effort. This kid, one of the biggest sports super fans I know. I mean, the dude studies up on golf and tennis, so
Thanks, man.
that's all you gotta know.
And the big and I missed the big PBA playoffs.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who won, but that's a big bowling guy. But let's hope for another year.
Again, though, yeah, I mean, obviously, you can't thank everyone enough, really. It's not possible if we did have, obviously, some sort of viewership week in and week out.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we had new stuff coming out here with the final fresh take, which tonight was kind of this, how we were just, talking about and thanking you guys and everything like that. Me and Nick have kind of been trying to think of some new ideas as well. Hopefully we can get some stuff rolling here and within maybe not a few weeks, but, different stuff, hopefully we can kind of come up with and enhance it better for everyone, make it more fun and enjoyable than we usually try and do anyway. If you guys have any ideas, don't be afraid to comment. Tell us what you guys would like to see, or maybe get a hold of us on our social medias. Ours are pretty straightforward. Paul Russo 32 pretty much everywhere. Nick is Nicky Fresh 21 pretty much everywhere. Pat is Pat Russo 5 pretty much everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
It's
Anywhere you can
everywhere.
find me on social media is Pat Russo.
I mean, so, if you guys have ideas for what you want, discussed or anything like that, let us know. I mean,
find me at Nike 5 days a week.
we're kind of, obviously all ears, and we enjoy we do enjoy, when somebody comes up to us and tells us that they listen to the podcast, that first and foremost is still amazing to me that you want to put up with me and Nick for sure, always at least 1 hour, give or take. So, again, we appreciate it. This is something that I don't think, looking back on, like I said, when we first discussed doing a podcast or anything like this, period, that we'd imagine being in. So,
We were doing it in our den.
I was about to say, we're doing it in the Felice den. So, Pat, we'll go to you. Any fun facts before we get out of here?
We got a good one. So,
All right.
being my 13th episode, number 13 popped up again today, and I mentioned it earlier talking about the hockey. United States women's national team scored 13 goals today against Thailand. In the previous 3 World Cups that the United States men's team has played in, 2006, 2010, and 2014, they scored 12 total goals. That is through 11 games. It took the men's national team 11 games to score 12 goals past 3 World Cups. Not going to, throw anyone under the bus here, but not against the greatest teams in the world. Women's national team 13 tonight. The force is female. That's all I got for you. We'll throw it to Nick for a shout out.
All right.
Well, hey, we were just talking about Brooks Koepka about trying to win his 3rd U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I mean, we just went a whole hour without talking about Rafa Nadal winning his 3rd straight French Open and his 12th French Open in the last 15 years. But
that's a solid point.
in one of those years, he was hurt. So, yeah, he's pretty good, too. But my shout-out today, 51st career shout-out, is Paul.
Wow.
Yeah. His first ever.
Shout out, Paul. Thanks for running the show. Let's give it another year. Shout out, Paul.
Thank you. I'm humbled. I didn't anticipate this. Now I'm going to cry. We're all going to be crying in the club tonight.
Well, I mean, we got Cookie.
That's right. Hold that up before we get on.
Yeah, let's get that cookie cake.
Let the
one more
folks
time.
see.
You want me to hold it up?
Yeah, hold it.
All right.
The cookie cake.
Please
for
don't
everyone
drop
to
it
see
and make this like a hilarious
one last
meme.
time. Oh, believe me, this isn't getting dropped. I love cookie cake.
All right. And again, we can't thank everyone enough.
Hey, he still has money for that.
For tuning in every week. We appreciate it. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, download the FL1 app so you never miss anything. I know I don't. And we will catch you next week for another great episode of the Fresh Takes Podcast.
And the big news.